Hello. Welcome to the Brave and the Boys podcast, episode 6. I'm your host, Jake Spencer, and with me is my Robin, my partner in crime, the other side of my dynamic duo.
Is that when I actually say, I'm Jordan?
Oh, I thought I was going to introduce you. And Jordan.
Oh, I could introduce myself. Thank you very much, Jake.
Oh, I thought we were introducing my middle name. Fun fact, my middle name is Jordan's first name.
Wow. Do
It
you
was the
want to
most
actually say what your real name is? Because it's not
oh,
Jake.
yeah. For those that don't know, I had a different name when I was born. Like this is literally a true story. I was born Victor and I got adopted, right? And they adopted my sister too, and her name is Victoria. And like, I guess my parents thought Victor and Victoria was a little lazy. Plus, I don't look like a Victor, so
No.
they told me I could choose between Jonathan and Jacob or whatever name I wanted. And they were like, but you can't choose like Captain America or something, ridiculous like that, because my
You should
parents fucking suck.
you should have picked Steve.
Oh my God. I want to be named after you, Dad.
Yeah.
That I but I chose Jacob because it seemed easier to spell. Like I don't know I didn't know how the fuck at that age to spell Jonathan. I was like, that's a whole fuck ton of letters.
How old were you when you were asked, what do you want your name to be?
I think 4 or 5.
Oh,
Like it I
that's kind
think
of old.
it was old, dude. I think if you're too old to breastfeed, you're too old to choose your name.
Okay, so the true question is, Jake, why? So you said it's because it was easy, right?
Yeah.
But out of all the lexicon of names, was it just the J attraction, J and J?
Nah, my mom had some sort of like religious story between like wanting me to choose Jacob.
Because you would have been JJS, JJ Spencer.
I mean, I still am JJS.
I mean, J. You could be J. Jonah Jameson. You could have done the JJJ.
Ooh. Is it too late? Do you think I could change my name now?
I definitely think you could change your name now.
Okay. You guys comment in the YouTube video down below what you want my name to be. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss anything. I used to be the one to upload the videos, but now Jordan does because Macs suck ass.
True.
And the other day I was at work and I saw a notification that the new Brave and the Boys podcast was up, and I was actually like excited. I was like, what? And then I was
Mm.
like, wait, I recorded the video. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm pumped.
Well, yeah, it's been pretty fun, and yeah, thank you to everybody that's been watching us. I mean, a month and a half doing the podcast, starting from just using our whatever we had at the time, and
Right? You guys have watched us grow.
now we
It's
have
been
an animated background.
right, even better than before.
Yeah.
A fun little drinking game is to take a shot every time there's lightning.
Oh, so should I just restart it like 5 times?
Oh my God, get our viewers fucked up.
It just starts with the lightning every single time rolling through.
I think the funnest thing about YouTube is the analytics that they show. So like in the past 28 days, we've had 17 new subscribers.
Wow.
We've had 300 views
Mm-hmm.
and a total watch time of 21 hours and 6 minutes,
I think that's
which is
fucking insane.
insane because we are just some fucking nerds that wanted to talk to each other because we missed hanging out. And we have 300 people that have watched us,
Mm-hmm.
and that's literally insane. So thank you so much, guys. Our average viewer duration of our most recent video was 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the fact that you could sit down and watch us talk for that long without already being bored,
Yeah.
like you guys are real ones. So we're incredibly grateful.
Mm-hmm.
You've made us want to push ourselves to do better, and to make a better podcast because honestly, it's just a fun hobby.
Yeah.
So again, keep commenting your suggestions. We'll hope to get to all of them. We'll hope to have guests on soon.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Dude,
just want to keep making this the best podcast ever.
what I think is insane is normally we have to force like people to listen to us for 5 minutes. These guys are voluntarily listening to us for 5 minutes.
Isn't that crazy? They're spending time out of their day to listen to us talk about comics or things that like we could have picked a broader subject category, but we had to pick the nichest of the niche.
Yeah, dude. Like, I thought it was insane. So, do you know the YouTube channel Watch Mojo?
Yeah.
They put out a poll recently asking, what do you guys collect? and they had like toys, action figures, comics, yada yada yada. Dude, comics had a 9% rating out of
Really?
everything else. Dude, toys was at like 27%, something insane like that.
That is wild. I've always thought, I mean, I'd always thought toys or statues were lame until I bought one
Hmm.
and I fucking love it. But I, I don't know. That's crazy, dude. Like the other day, yesterday at work, someone was shipping their boss's coin collection and it was like $5,000 of fucking coins. And she was like, I know it's weird. And I was like, I collect comic books. Like, it's not weird. And then she was like, she had her assistant. The assistant was like, oh, I love comic books. Like, I'm a big
Hmm.
Marvel guy. And I was like, we don't even collect. We
Marvel.
collect the niche publisher
Hmm.
of, and we don't even just collect comic books. We collect the niche format. We're oversized hardcover and omnibus fans, like,
Yes.
which is an even smaller subgroup, but it's a powerful subgroup.
Speaking of our collections, I did just reorganize actually the bookshelf back there.
I wish you could. I wish we could do a tour. Maybe we'll post a video this week. Like, maybe like, does your camera record film?
Oh
You
yeah,
little,
my A6000.
yeah, your A6000, your Sony A6000.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely do a
Maybe do
little
a
video
selfie
of it.
tour.
Probably shouldn't do a little voiceover.
Yeah.
Get a little seductive with a mic.
Jordan made me come by after a workout. I was all sweaty. I was half
Hmm.
naked, and he was like, "Bring me my books, you wench."
Hmm. I was like, I need to fill it because there would have been a missing spot right up
He had a
top.
missing hole that he needed me to fill.
I had two holes that I needed you to fill.
Yes, I filled both of your holes.
Oh,
But
yeah,
isn't there a hole that Isabel still needs to fill?
yeah, yes. Missing the comic I lent her, which is Secret Wars, which I don't think anyone would notice or care.
Hashtag bring back Secret Wars. I want that trending.
Oh yeah,
Hashtag let's fill all of Jordan's holes. I want that trending.
stop. That one should be trending. I mean, it's trending at Best Buy.
Oh my God, don't be dirty, people. By filling the holes, I mean that there's a hole in his bookshelf collection.
Oh, they were talking about the holes in my heart.
Oh, I thought we meant the holes in your ass, man.
Stop.
Both of them. He has two in his ass.
But yeah, there was a gaping hole, which was the actual Dark Knight Returns oversized comic that was on the top shelf. Actually, it looks pretty good now. I don't know if you can see it. The video's probably too small,
I
but
saw
yeah.
that you had your three Nightfalls next to your three Batman by Morrison's.
Okay, because I need more comics to fill the gap. Literally, that's my reading order. I put them from year one all the way through to what do I have up there?
Probably
Eternal.
Tom King.
Oh, you know what? Tom King. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that Batman Eternal omnibus is worth money now.
Is it really?
Yeah, dude. People like go crazy for it.
I gotta look this up real quick.
Did I fucking tell you? So for those of you that were watching last week, I bought my whale, which finally came in. I'll show it off in a second. Which
Yes.
was Night's End, the third in the Batman Nightfall, where Bane breaks the bat. I got it. It's in pretty good condition. Used. He sent it in the mail, so I was kind of nervous because as a FedEx worker, we hate the mail department. Um, but I was at work a couple of days ago, and the on the same website I bought my comic book off of, someone was selling it at $65.
But was that available?
It was I saw the post 5 minutes late. I would have just bought it and resold it for like 200 or 150.
Speaking just real quick, yes, Batman Eternal. I see the eBay listing for it going for 200, and I see World of Books, which I don't know what website that is, but it's 227.
The old world of books, man. Always got to make their money.
But I mean, dude, I haven't even read it yet. I hear it's good. It's the weekly series from Scott Snyder back when he was on the main writer.
So here's what happened with me. I read the first couple trades of uh Batman by Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
So like the new 52 run. And then I accidentally snuck in Batman Eternal thinking it was the next trade, not realizing
Mm,
it was like a whole other story.
yeah.
So it's a really good story. I have read it all. Um,
Mm,
and I might have even fucked up. I think I had because I bought it, and I think I bought the second trade instead of the first trade. And it's like if I remember correctly, it's like a mystery. So
Mm-hmm.
like I couldn't go back and read the first half. So it's really good, man. There's also a follow-up called Batman and Robin Eternal.
Yeah. I didn't actually know that there was a second book to it. Who's it? Scott Snyder as well, or
Let me see. Let me Google who wrote Batman and Robin Eternal.
and then yes,
Speaking of
as
which, did you watch the Eternal trailer?
I have not, but it's coming out in a couple of months, right?
Yeah. So first we got Black Widow, and then we're gonna get Shang-Chi, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get the Eternals. Batman and Robin Eternal was a weekly limited series from 2015, written by James Tinian, Scott Snyder, Tim Seeley, Steve Orlando.
Oh wow, so it is Tinian and Snyder's run.
Yeah, it was a 6-month weekly limited series published by DC Comics that featured Batman, Robin, and their allies. It was the follow up to Batman Eternal. Um, and it's toggles between the present, where Dick Grayson and his allies battle the mysterious mother, and in the past, where Batman and Robin face the Scarecrow for the first time.
It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it actually sounds pretty badass.
And
Um,
then just as some
oh my god, it's
backstory
so
to.
so fucking sorry, so fucking New 52. It says in the present, Dick Grayson on an assignment from Spiral.
Oh, you mean Rick Grayson? No, I know. We're before that.
Well, dude, that shows you how much fucking Dan Ditto hated Dick Grayson, that he was like, I want to kill Nightwing. And they were like, how about this? We'll make Dick Grayson not Nightwing, and he'll be a secret agent, you know. And then so Tom King wrote it, and it was like people fucking loved it, and he was like, God damn it.
It's
So
like
then he made
stop.
him, yeah. So then he was like, okay, let's bring him back to Nightwing, and people fucking loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, let's okay. So they did the worst thing to my fate. Dick Grayson is my favorite DC character. Do you want to tell them about Rick Grayson?
Rick. You know what? You do it because you're better at explaining it than I am. I haven't even caught up on any of the Nightwing stuff.
Okay, so in Tom King, who is currently writing Batman, he wanted it about Bane systematically destroying the Bat, kind of like my generation's Nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Dick Grayson is out on patrol, and he gets shot in the head by the KGB. So he gets sniped.
Mm-hmm.
And the original story was that Dick Grayson was supposed to fall, get vertigo, and be scared of heights, and have to learn how to be Nightwing without the confidence and dealing with his vertigo. But they didn't want to. That didn't happen. They also mentioned what if one of the other Robins steps up to be Nightwing. That didn't happen. Instead, they did this horrible storyline for I think almost 2 years, where he got amnesia and he started calling himself Rick Grayson, and they made him a completely different character who was just a punk ass bitch. And he gets mind controlled, and then he gets amnesia again, and then he gets
Mm-hmm.
mind controlled again, and finally he gets mind controlled by the Joker. And it's so bad that they're making fun of it at the very end, where the Joker mind controls him and has him start calling himself Dicky Boy, just to make
That's
fun
so
of Rick
good.
Grayson. And it's just like, why did that book go on so long? Like it was like the sales didn't even dip that hard because comic book shops kept buying it. But
Mm-hmm.
every time if you go to any comic book shop, there's a huge backlog of that era. Thank God it's over. Now we
Mm-hmm.
have Tom Taylor writing Nightwing, and it is fucking amazing. Can I send you a cover from Nightwing that I really want to show?
Yeah, send it over. I'll pull it up.
Um,
And then just to go back real quick to whoever's interested in comic stories but hasn't done too much research into what they should be reading. Batman Eternal was a weekly series written by Scott Snyder primarily back when he was doing the main run of Batman for the New 52. It is a kind of like a murder mystery of James Gordon killed someone. Uh, it doesn't really state who did he kill, or at least not in the beginning, and did he actually do it. It's a pretty cool book, or at least in concepts. And then when I read it, I'll let you know my thoughts on it.
that's how long will that be? You gonna read it? You gonna read it soon?
Listen, I'm still on Crisis on Infinite Earths. Actually,
Which
no, we should talk about that real quick.
that'll be our next segue. Show the cover for Nightwing 79. I saw this cover, and it's just like it made me so happy.
Let's see. Pull it up right now.
Um, one fun thing is Nightwing saves a three-legged dog, and fans got a vote on the name of the three-legged dog.
Oh, I saw that vote. Oh, stop! Don't don't try to sell me your newsletter. Here we go. Let's make this. Can I full size this? What does that look like?
Just scroll down slowly. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, look at all those robins.
Isn't that so cute? Look at like Alfred holding up
It's
his cape.
it's precious. That was a nice cover.
I know it's a whole series. It's just making me so happy. If you were to read like one or two current DC books, I would suggest Nightwing, and I would suggest this summer to read Infinite Frontier.
You'll explain that to me later because it's time for us to actually talk about the Infinite series, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. You want to show off what books you got, and then we'll lead into Crisis?
Yes, to give a little backstory, as people have known if they've been watching the podcast, I've been reading Infinite Crisis, which for DC, in order to reboot their continuity every couple of decades or years, they have a crisis to reset everything. Um, we'll kind of go into what this book means to us, but before Infinite Crisis was released in the mid 2000s, there's a prelude to it, the first ever crisis called Crisis on Infinite Earths. I finally got to the portion where it would make sense to read it because you kind of have to have some backstory in order to fully understand all the characters and what's going on. So I decided to purchase it, which I have it right here.
Show off that artwork.
Yeah, it's redesigned artwork from Alex Ross in order to really give you how powerful this comic is, because you have both Superman from Earth 1 and Earth 2, which I did get the deluxe edition because, you love that oversized George Perez artwork. Crisis on Infinite Earths is... Oh, there you go. We have the Absolute Edition to show off as well.
It's the Absolute Edition, out of print.
Mm-hmm. Which George Perez's artwork is good. I don't think it's the best, at least not for an Absolute Edition.
At that time, it was the best, dude.
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean, think of how many characters he had to draw.
yeah, dude. The cover alone is insane for Crisis on Infinite Earths. The OG one.
So,
Um,
so, so, yeah. To give you guys a little bit of background, it was hard to read comics because, okay, let me read Batman. When did Batman start?
mm-hmm.
Was it the 40s or the 20s? Like,
39.
yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, are you supposed to read 60 years of Batman or 60 years of Superman or 60 years of Flash? Um, and they would have a character like Green Lantern, who was a character named Alan Scott, and that was in the Golden Age. And then or Jay Garrick, who was the original Flash,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually they would update the character. So then we got the new Flash, Barry Allen, or we got the new Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and 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 they would just replace the character. And like at one point, like the Flash decided to call himself the Flash. Barry Allen decided to call himself the Flash because he was reading the comic book of Jay Garrick. So they're like, those stories aren't real. Those are comic
Mm-hmm.
books. This Flash by Barry Allen, the Silver Age, is real. So you have multiple generations or iterations of the same character. So they were like, oh, they're on different dimensions. They're
Yeah.
different dimensions. And then it's like, okay, well, where do you read comics if there's 10, 100 different dimensions or 30 different dimensions?
Mm-hmm.
Here someone's evil, here someone's good, here this person's from the future, this person's from the past. It was a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided, what if we completely reboot the universe? What if we told everyone that this is when you can start? So they did a climactic story where there's a character named the Anti-Monitor, and he's destroying every universe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all the characters from all the different universes and all the different dimensions have to team up together to try to stop him. And they did a lot of changes. So they killed off characters that stayed dead for quite some time.
They killed off
Um,
worlds.
yes, they killed off worlds, and they eventually were left with one world,
Mm-hmm.
a new status quo for everybody. where they kind of mixed and matched some things, and then from there everything started. So for some people, Crisis on Infinite Earths was the end.
Mm-hmm.
For other people like Jordan and myself, Crisis on Infinite Earths is the beginning.
Yep.
Now, is it a good place to start for comics? Definitely not.
Eh. Definitely, there's a lot of characters in it that they really don't exist anymore, or they're not
Yes.
talked about. Um, what are your thoughts on it?
So me and Jordan were going to talk about it, and we were rereading it. And the storyline is kind of cool. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, there's a character named Pariah who is invented just for that book, and his curse is he teleports from world to world, and he has to watch them end, and
Mm-hmm.
he's powerless to do anything but cry. And then you have other things like you have like other characters like the Anti Monitor and the Monitor, who are these really OP powerful beings,
Mm-hmm.
and you get everyone teaming up to stop them, and it's a crazy storyline, and like you get multiple Superman all fighting the same bad guy. You get the death of characters such as Barry Allen, who stayed dead
Yes.
for like 20 years.
Oh,
You
until
know, he's
the 2000s. Yeah.
until Crisis, Infinite Crisis. So is it a good storyline? Yes. The problem is I'm flipping through page after page after page where there's just like 100 characters on each page. And if you had been reading comics in the 60s, the 70s, the 50s, you're like, holy fuck, it's that character and that character and that
Mm-hmm.
character. Most of these characters haven't been around post 85. So
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck they are. I got no emotional investment. I'm just like my brain's just fried with this pseudoscience talk. And
Mm-hmm.
like it keeps jumping around from the future to the past to this to that. And like there are still some deaths that affect me. Barry Allen sacrificing his life. Barry Allen was my Flash,
Mm-hmm.
so that was impactful for me, even though I knew he came back. But it,
Yeah.
it allowed his part
Wally
his
West.
yeah, I was trying to think, well, the opposite of mentor is Wally was his protege,
Yeah.
to step up and become the Flash. So you had the passing of the torch, you
Mm-hmm.
had the deaths of characters like Supergirl, and it is it a great storyline? Yes. Is it amazing? Yes. I definitely don't think it should be your first foray into comics, but I think everything after Crisis on Infinite Earths is what you should start.
Yeah.
So after Crisis on Infinite Earths, you have Batman Year One. I think that's where you should start reading Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's other things too, like you have Mike Grail's Green Arrow. That's when you should start reading Green Arrow,
Mm-hmm.
or so everything after Crisis, because Crisis is meant to be this giant blender of everything that came before, and it transforms and it destroys and it becomes this new world that's a lot easier to follow afterwards. And that's the whole point of a crisis: is this world's gotten way too fucking complicated, but we can't just make it all disappear, because then otherwise, if there's no stakes, if things don't matter, why read? They had to give a reason to compress everything into a way easier
Mm-hmm.
to follow universe. So um I'm having trouble reading it. And I'm a huge comic book fan, but
It's definitely given me a new appreciation for the modern style of writing because
oh
it
yeah.
is dense.
Oh yeah.
Like going through and reading, you read everybody's thoughts, and so you have their speech bubbles, but then you have your thought bubbles, and then you have the narrator's bubble, and it is a lot to go through and read for a comic book. So definitely I appreciate like the newer styles where you get the main bubble, the speech bubble, which is normally condensed to your main points, and then sometimes you'll get the thought bubble of what the character's feeling or thinking. Um, so appreciation for some of the modern comics.
I consider it like a Citizen Kane, or like a classic movie or a classic song, something that was so groundbreaking that when it came out, it changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, it's like you have to read it with the context of this changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been so many crises, there's been several crises afterwards that have done the same thing, that have been written for my generation, that I relate to more, like Final Crisis,
Mm-hmm.
Infinite Crisis,
Mm-hmm.
um, but or even like death metal or Dark Knight's metal. So there's been several crises since. I think there's been like 8 crises.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm able to read it with appreciation of what it started. And for me, I have no interest in collecting any comic books that came before Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah. Yeah. Those comics have kind of been lost to time, especially because of things like the comic codes, which kind of made
Yeah.
them more childish compared to the modern era of comic books.
Yeah.
Um, but you
They were
still have,
scared that comic books would make things kids violent and things like that. So they
mhm,
were wacky. They were meant for kids. Like they were meant for young kids.
yeah, and that's where you get things like Adam West's Batman. He
Yeah.
spawned from those kind of childish comic books, which they're still fun to go back and look at every so often, but it's not something where I want to read the entire storyline of.
A perfect example is pre-crisis Oliver Queen
Hmm.
has a boxing glove arrow. He has a
Yes.
fire extinguisher arrow. He's got trick arrows.
Hmm.
Post-crisis Oliver Queen, which was one of the few comic books written without having to follow the comics code authority,
Hmm.
shoots people with arrows and murders them.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not saying comics have to be dark,
Yeah.
but I like there to be stakes. I like there to be some violence.
I think that's kind of what, and you'll hear a lot of people talk about it if you watch other people on YouTube. Crisis on Infinite Earth is kind of like the dawning of the Dark Era, just to revolt against the era before, which was going to be much more like childish space comics.
It definitely started with Watchmen
Dark
and
Knight
Dark Knight
Returns.
Returns, and then Crisis on Infinite Earths set the tone for a world where that could happen. But I guess I kind of want to say the opposite now.
Mm-hmm.
Comics have taken it too far sometimes. Like I like optimism. I like violence, but I also like optimism. Um, no worries. We're on a brief pause. This is a good time for our sponsor, Lucky's Coffee. Lucky's Coffee, the best salted caramel latte in Laverne and Claremont.
Mm. You know what? I'm sad. I ran out of coffee.
That's late, guys.
Everyone loves that.
So sometimes comics have been needlessly dark or needlessly violent because they're trying to show that they're adult or they're trying to show that they're serious. One of my favorite comic books is about optimism and hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Superman Up in the Sky. I actually bought 3 copies of it to give out to 3 of our viewers because I would love to hear the thoughts of someone who doesn't read comic books on it. I was trying to explain this storyline to my friend, and I basically said it answers the question of is Superman boring or is Superman OP?
Mm-hmm.
Because people that don't understand Superman think he's too powerful. They think he's boring. They think oh well Superman could just beat everybody. Or I had one friend ask me once about the trolley problem. You know, if you could pull the lever of a trolley and hit one person instead of hitting 5 people, would you do it? And what would Superman do? And I said the whole point of Superman is that he would find a way to save everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he is powerful enough and he is good enough and he is noble enough and smart enough and to find a way to save everybody and probably save the trolley itself too.
Yeah.
um, and I really like Superman Up in the Sky because it's a story about all I'll really say is a girl gets kidnapped out into space, and she's a random orphan. She has no family. Nobody would miss her. And I hate to say I'm fucked up, relatively unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
But Superman
You can't
can't
let it
give up the
go.
fact he can't let it go. He even asked his dad. He said, "What should I do?" Because the world needs a Superman, and he says an adult would know to give up eventually. This little girl is a massive Superman fan. She has like a little Superman action figure, a little doll. She will not know to give up hope. She will always be hoping for you to come,
Mm-hmm.
which is just the right amount of guilt. So Superman flies off up into the sky, the little title of the book. Um, and along the way, he faces trials that test him physically, mentally, spiritually, ethically, morally. So things he can't just punch his way out. And it shows how to write a compelling Superman story. It's also out of continuity or it could be in continuity. We don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a short run. And I would love to hear the thoughts of non-comic readers to see what their thoughts are because I legitimately think Superman is such an important character and Up in the Sky is such a good telling of it that it could be taught in classes on American mythology.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
Uh, I'll try to keep them kind of brief because I think we do want to do an episode where it's you, I, and at least one other person talking about
Yeah,
how we feel and what it means to us. Uh, it's definitely an inspirational book that when during the time that it came out, comics were still kind of being dark, which is still recent actually. Um, it's inspirational to the point where it made me kind of want to read Superman again. Superman to me kind of gets into like the boring character status sometimes based off of who's writing him, because you go, oh, of course I know he's gonna do it. He's gonna save the person, um, or he'll find a way, or some random thing is gonna happen that allows him to do it. Uh, it's very well written. Um, a lot of Superman's dialogue is concise. He doesn't talk a whole bunch in the book, but it's the actions that he does that are meaningful. Um, and because of that, I really appreciate the book. And then the art style for it is amazing. I think it's one of the better drawn books out there. Uh, yeah, I think that's where I'll keep it at. And then when we
Yeah,
actually talk about it, we'll talk about like the individual stories, because it feels like very much an anthology based series.
it's definitely like a Herculean trials. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we would love to hear the thoughts of people that aren't comic readers, because I want people to not think Superman is boring.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that though, another thing we want to talk about is they announced two new DC shows. One of them a
Yes.
Superman show, one of them a
Mm-hmm.
Batman show. So let's go show the art of that, and then let's talk about that, because I have some thoughts, some positive, some negative. But HBO Max, in partnership with Cartoon Network, announced a new Batman animated show called The Cape Crusader,
Mm-hmm.
and a new Superman show. Is it My Friend Superman or My Pal Superman?
It is. Let's see. There's the art for the
Look at that art.
Batman.
The Batman show is Cape Crusader. It's done by Bruce Timm, who is the art director behind Batman the Animated Series and the Justice League universe. Oh, My Adventures with Superman. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's also the Batman show is also being made in partnership with Matt Reeves, who is directing the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, and J.J. Abrams, who is supposed to, I believe, become the Kevin Feige of the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say one thing. There's one name that's missing that I wish was there. I wish Paul Dini's name was there. Paul Dini is the writer behind the greatest episodes of Batman the Animated Series. Bruce Timm did the art behind it. Bruce Timm, if you watched any of his more recent Batman films, such as The Killing Joke, has a weird obsession with Batman fucking Batgirl. And I've always viewed Batman viewing Batgirl as like a daughter. So that's always been super weird to me. Um, but I'm pretty sure with J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves, they'll rein it in. There had been rumors of a reboot of Batman the Animated Series on HBO Max. I'm pretty sure this is what they were actually supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But Batman the Animated Series, I still rewatch it to this day. It's one of my favorite shows to fall asleep to.
It's just so
Um,
good.
it is phenomenal. As you can see, it's literally the background to our podcast.
Yep.
But the art style, the music, hit him with the theme song.
Da 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 dun dun. Yeah, that's as good until
Do, do you
we
think
get
we get
licensed by DC.
right? Do you think
Yeah.
we get Conroy as the voice?
Oh, I hope. I so hope for that.
That'd also be badass if they got Robert Pattinson to do it,
Oh, to have a, yeah,
like a
that would make
tie-in,
sense. Uh
because
huh.
they're making a live action like Gotham Central TV show that's going to star James Gordon from the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the Superman show, My Adventures with Superman, is probably going to be a lighter, more family friendly thing. It takes place with Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, and Superman slash Clark Kent in like their 20s,
Mm-hmm.
kind of discovering who they are. And the voice of Superman slash uh, Clark Kent is fuck, what's his name? Jack Quaid, or he's the guy from who plays the main character on The Boys.
Let me see.
Huey, I think.
Looking it up right now.
We're gonna talk so there's no dead air.
Hit him with the musical, Jake.
Da-na-na-na-na. Oh, that's
Do
Tim
do
Burton Batman, I think.
do.
Yeah, it's Jack
It's
Quaid.
it's the same person that did the score for Tim Burton.
Danny Elfman.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Fuck, I couldn't remember. It's Danny Elfman. He also did the animated adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Quaid just posted it's like a photo on Instagram of him wearing a Superman shirt with a thumbs up and a smile, and he captioned it, "Just want to assure everyone that none of the Superman stuff has gone to my head in any way."
Mm, I feel like if
So,
anyone becomes Superman, something goes to their head a little bit, right?
right, right.
But yeah, I look forward to it.
Did you ever see the video of the girl finding out that she's going to be Supergirl in the live action movie? And like they told her and like she's just crying on the Zoom call.
No, I haven't.
Um,
Dead
it's
air
it's
sucks. What? Yeah.
it's literally one of the most emotional things. Actress finds out she's going to be Supergirl. Her name's Sasha Callie. I'll send you the video. You watch it after the podcast, dude. It's literally one of the oh my god, dude. So she it's literally like a minute long. I'll send it to you really fast.
Mm.
But the she's talking to the director and he's like talking to her and he's like she thinks that she hasn't got it yet. She doesn't know that she's got it yet. And he's like, okay, I just need to ask you a couple questions to see if we can move you forward. And
Hmm.
he's like, can you fly? She's like, what? He's like, do you have like super strength? And she's like, huh? And she's like, because being that you're Supergirl, he says, like, do you want to fly? He asks, and then he pulls out the Supergirl suit that she's gonna wear, and she immediately bursts into tears.
Oh,
And
that's cute.
she's like, is it okay if I freak out for a little bit? And she starts like dancing, and she's like freaking out, and she's having an amazing time, and she's just like bawling her eyes out.
Hmm.
Dude, it's made me so happy.
Oh, that's adorable. I like that.
Right? I love when actors actually care about like the superhero stuff that they're doing because it's important to me.
Hmm. It makes it more real.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of characters that are really into the characters that they play, uh, have you watched any of MODOK yet?
I was gonna say, what did Jared Leto do? No.
Oh God, I was talking about that
I
yesterday at work, dude. Jared Leto's a fucking creep.
for to go back, yes, Modoc. I have seen it. I haven't finished it yet though.
Okay. I don't know why I relate so strongly to the character of MODOK. Do you want to pull up a image of what MODOK is for our viewers?
I'll pull it up. It's very strange because it's in the same style as Robot Chicken.
Robot
Yeah,
Chicken.
let me pull it up.
And MODOK is a character whose name stands for Machine Organism Designed Only for Killing. And he's an Iron Man villain. But Patton Oswalt loves this character. And Patton Oswalt is an amazing comedian. And he plays him perfectly. The
It's it's a really good show.
Yeah, it is. It's like also really sad because he's like dealing with like a divorce and he like misses his wife. But look at that. Marvel's MODOK, dude.
It's been pretty funny. It is the same creators of Robot Chicken, so you have like Seth Green on there. Um, it's very well written, and I didn't really expect it to be because I was assuming it's gonna be more like a skit comedy show,
Yeah.
which they do have their own little skits where they do like flashbacks and whatnot. But um, I've been enjoying it so far. Me and Isabel were watching it together. She wasn't really into it because she doesn't like that claymation style, but uh,
Lupe felt the same way. She says it gives her anxiety.
I I mean it's not a common type of style, and because of that, not a lot of people are used to it.
Yeah, it is it's weird, but it kind of works in this show, I think.
Hmm.
It was originally going to be part of there was going to be four TV shows. There was going to be MODOK, um, two girl shows that I don't remember what they were called. One called Hit Monkey, where about like a monkey assassin,
Hmm.
and Howard the Duck. And they were gonna all cross over and Howard the Duck was done by Kevin Smith. They were all gonna cross over in a TV show together called The Offenders. And then Kevin Feige took full control of Marvel Television and they canceled everything but MODOK and one of the other shows. So Howard the Duck unfortunately got cut.
That would have been a great show to watch.
A Kevin Smith Howard the Duck, right?
Yeah. You,
Yeah.
you know what I found out recently? That
What?
Howard the Duck's first introduction into Marvel was in a Man Thing comic.
Really?
I had no idea. So that's a recent release or coming out is going to be the Man Thing Omnibus, which
Yeah.
collects like his first appearances, things like that. Uh,
Man Thing is Marvel's Swamp Thing.
it basically Man Thing and Swamp Thing came out around the same time. Man Thing coming out, I think, like a couple months before Swamp Thing. The real controversial part of it is that the creator of Man Thing and the creator of Swamp Thing used to live together.
What?
Yeah, and then they both ended up coming up with a swamp-based character and earth-based character, and then within months of each other came out for their own individual comics.
That is super fucking interesting, and I did not know that.
Yeah, so the question is like, what came first? Um,
Also, how gross must their apartment have been if they both had the idea of a swamp-based monster?
I know it would have looked like your apartment. I'm kidding.
Imagine there my apartment is empty.
No, no, no. Your apartment currently with the mold.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um imagine there was like a third roommate who was just disgustingly like he was just garbage.
it's just written about him. It's a direct
Yeah.
inspiration.
They're like, why is Swamp Thing and Man Thing's first name both Jerry? they,
But yeah, so that's the whole thing, and I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, Howard the Duck comes from Man Thing, kind of like how John Constantine comes from Constantine or Constantine.
I think it's technically Constantine, but everyone says Constantine.
Yeah, he comes from Swamp Thing comics.
He does, which I have beautiful absolutes of.
Yes, I have your series that you sold me for like $45.
Did I give you a good price on it?
Yeah, you told
Yeah.
me you're like go half on me for Swamp Thing Absolute 2, and I'll give you
Nice.
the trades. And I went, okay.
They just announced they're re-releasing Swamp Thing in a box set for like $110, and it's the
Yeah.
same thing that you have.
Hmm.
Um, I wonder what's better because the Absolute has recolored art.
Mm,
I feel like for something like Swamp Thing, the original coloring probably would have worked better.
I was gonna say creator's intent, like we talked about last week.
Yeah, except you're the one that doesn't like the creator's intent of Killing Joke.
I I liked. I do normally like the original artwork for most things, or original coloring or whatnot. Um, I think Killing Joke just did it better for the
Yeah,
recolored.
yeah. It looks
It,
like the movie. It looks like the movie kind of
well, the movie looks like the
comic
recoloring.
book. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Even though I hate the movie.
which back to or bringing it back for what you said earlier. Fucking Barbara Gordon Bing's Batman in that movie.
What is Bruce Timm's obsession?
He was like, it has to be done. I say Barbara Gordon goes with fucking Dick Grayson.
Really over Starfire?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've always thought the Starfire thing was weird.
it's a little weird. Which Starfire's in Crisis on Infinite Earths as one of the main characters.
Hmm.
Wow, everything that we've talked about is tying back to each other. It's like we planned this.
Oh yeah, look at this. Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
I mean, you look like a guy with the Reverse Flash shirt. Wow. What's his name? Ichabod?
Ichabod Crane? No, it's Eobard Thawne.
Yeah, I was close enough.
There's also Hunter Zolomon.
I was talking about Sleepy Hollow.
Yes. Ichabod Crane. No, it's Eobard Thawne. He
Yeah.
was a janitor from the future,
Hmm.
and he was the world's greatest Flash fan. And he found out cleaning the museum one day the name of Flash's greatest villain, the Reverse Flash, was himself, and it made him go crazy. And then he became the Flash himself.
Which ends up going and becoming its own crisis, which isn't a crisis, but basically is. And that's
On
where you get Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, which we both own the omnibus, and neither of us have read it.
Yup. And from Flashpoint, it spawns the new era of DC, which is the new 52.
I think.
Wow.
Do you think next week should we try to have a guest on for the Up in the Sky, or next week should we do good places to start reading comics?
I
I
think
think. Comment down below, guys, what you would like to see. But what are your thoughts, Jordan?
I think we do good places to start for comics, and then the following week to do to have a guest, just because it gives them time to read a comic.
Okay. Yeah, read that comic fast, Paul.
Yeah. You're spoiling who's going to be on the show. We've talked about him every single
Hey,
episode since.
I got 3 copies of Up in the Sky. I'm giving one to my friend Sam because we hosted that contest where the first person to comment on the YouTube video, Jake is cute, got a
Hmm.
free comic book. So, you know, he could be one of the people.
And he
Let's
got
have a
Up in the
total
Sky
stranger Daytona.
versus Nightfall.
Yes.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So, I think this is maybe a good time to wrap it up, man. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, you want to tell the people the fun story of your ticket?
Fucking annoying, dude. I swear. I got a ticket. It was actually what 2 weeks ago that I got it, but now I'm gonna have to go and pay it.
Yeah, he
Um,
was getting road dome and he was driving in the
no,
carpool lane.
no. I
And then
was
I like stuck my head up and I was like, "Officer, it's okay."
stop. No, I was driving to fucking work. I was even going early, And the fucking cop starts trailing me back for like a mile. And I'm driving down one of the last streets to go to work. And he pulls me over and he
Are you wearing the
goes,
Best Buy polo?
yes, I'm wearing the fucking Best Buy polo.
Dude, if a cop pulls someone over going to work, that's foul.
And he pulls me over and he goes, you know why I pulled you over? And I went, why, officer? And he goes, because you're going 50 and a 40. Me 100% knowing I was barely going over the speed limit, because how dumb do you have to be to speed in front of an officer?
Well, you were still speeding.
I was speeding over by a few miles, which is fine.
Yeah. That's my favorite. That's my favorite quote that Jordan says. Fine.
It's fine. So,
It's fine.
so I got the stupid fucking ticket. Hopefully, hopefully, I get it reduced in price, because I looked up to see what tickets are for speeding over whatever mileage, and I saw it was like $225. That's
That
like
is
two
that's an out
omnis.
that's an out of print omnibus right there, man.
It's an out of print omnibus. It's fucking, or two omnis from cheapgraphicnovels.com.
Dude, you can even get three if they're
Oh,
$60 a pop.
oh, so fucking annoyed.
Yeah.
The struggle,
That's
man.
that's garbage. Oh, lightning shot. Take a shot, everybody.
Uh, dude, someone please go and count how many times lightning has struck in our video so far.
And I don't just mean the Batman lightning. I mean the fact that we struck lightning with this podcast.
Yeah, that's how good this podcast was. I think last week's podcast was better so far.
I know we were just on fire. It's the morning podcast, man. I love these morning podcasts.
Way better than doing it at like 10 at night.
Dude, we did one at like 11:30, I swear to God. I was like, and I had gone to the gym, I'd gone to work, and I had class that day. I'm literally just like, oh, oh.
Yeah, if
But
you've
now
seen
I'm
the previous
energized.
podcast,
I'm jazzed up, dude. I'm
you've
giving people
seen
what giving
you've
people
seen
what
how
they
much I've
want.
yawned. You've seen how much I've yawned in the previous podcast, and it wasn't
Right,
just because we were boring.
more than the. I mean, I guess I am pretty boring. I guarantee some of our viewers have yawned.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and what should we make our contest this week? Because I have so many trades to give away.
Do you want to give some away to me?
What?
I
Why?
need I need to fill my bookshelf. I'm kidding. Actually, I have a lot of shit coming in.
Yeah, I think you're gonna need to get a new bookshelf. I need to get a new bookshelf.
I'm gonna have to.
Oh, I bought an omnibus too about Superman, but
Ooh.
knowing in stock trades, it'll come in like 5 podcasts.
I I bought a comic book at retail price that's now out of print.
I was thinking of buying it just to get it out of the way, but I think I'll
Dude,
just wait for the omnibus
no,
because
get the
I
deluxe
own
edition.
I own most of the trades and I own Deluxe 3.
Okay, just so that people know what we're talking about, Batman by Tom King was being released in deluxe editions.
What if they don't finish the deluxe editions and then they come out with an omnibus?
Then I will sell the deluxe editions. Ooh, ooh, that text is telling you that you gotta go.
No, it was someone saying that it was a coworker and they were saying that they're no longer going to work at FedEx, but he said, I'll continue to follow your YouTube channel. Please tell everyone that I said thanks. So honestly,
Wow.
it's fucking and it feels fucking great that someone texted me to say that they'll continue following the podcast. And if you watch this episode, shouts out to that person. I'm gonna keep them nameless, but
Hmm.
just happy that happy that people are like responding to the podcast. Happy that people are supporting us because at the end of the day, I know
Hmm.
most people that are watching aren't comic book fans.
Hmm.
Um, I know
There.
that you guys are watching to support us, and that means the world to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone that's been watching, and to our friends or family that's watching us, thank you, and to the people that just stumbled upon us on YouTube and decided to keep viewing. Hey guys, you want to comment down below and we can get some interaction in?
Like I said, I got trades to give away.
Yes. All right. So,
But yeah, have a great day, guys. Stay amazing. If I had a catchphrase, this is when I would say it.
yeah. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye, Jordan.
Bye.